I read 115 books this year, which is probably the most I've read in a really long time. I've narrowed it down to my top 25 in no particular order, except I feel like the last six are my number one books of the year. Whistler by Nick Medina is Indigenous horror at its finest with young ghost hunters. Local Heavens by K.M. Fajardo. I got the special edition because I love it so much. This is a queer cyberpunk reimagining of The Great Gatsby. Sisters in the Wind by Angeline Boulley is an Indigenous thriller that is going to rip your heart out. Living Resistance by Caitlin B. Curtis, an Indigenous vision for seeking wholeness every day. It's an Indigenous nonfiction that I would recommend everybody adds to their TBR. On the Savage Side by Tiffany McDaniel is an absolutely devastating story. Inspired by a true crime story, this follows three women who just can't catch a break. Rules for Ruin by Mimi Matthews is one of my favorite romances this year. I don't particularly read a lot of romance. This is a Victorian romance that had me grinning the entire time. A Tropical Rebel Gets the Duke also makes this list. It's actually my favorite of the series. This is a series by Adriana Herrera. Love, love, love this series. But the third one is my favorite. Victorian Psycho. What a cute, psychotic little book. Broken Country is a lit fic that caught me by surprise. Absolutely beautiful story. The Bewitching by Sylvia Moreno Garcia. This has replaced Daughter of Dr. Moreau as my number one Sylvia Moreno Garcia book. And they're like this close apart and probably could change spaces on any given day. Nowhere by Allison Gunn. I think this was a debut. Creepy Children. Okay, next we've got Junie by Erin Crosby. Beautiful historical horror. Margot's Got Money Troubles is one of those books, Remarkably Bright Creatures, where it's very funny. It's also very emotional, very cute. These are books that I would recommend to people who read any genre. The Art Thieves by Andrea Rogers is an Indigenous dystopian young adult, and more people need to be reading it. It's about a young girl who works in a museum. She meets a young Cherokee boy from the future who's like, hey, things are going to get really bad. Should be required reading, in my opinion. She actually references one of my other favorite reads from this year, and I read them back to back, oddly. The Good House by Tananarive Due, which is re-releasing through Saga this year. And I think this is my favorite Tananarive Due book. Unflinching,